What Alysa Liu just pulled off at the Olympics is absolutely unbelievable. And this isn't simply about taking home the gold. After spending 2 years completely away from the sport, she returned and snapped a 24-year losing streak for American women. But here's the part that really blows your mind. She accomplished all of this without crumbling under pressure, without anxiety eating her alive, without falling apart. While other competitors seemed to be suffocating beneath the weight of the Olympic stage, she was genuinely out there having a blast. And what she just revealed about tonight's gala performance says everything you need to know about her. Back at the 2022 Beijing Olympics, Alysa Liu was just 16 years old, the youngest athlete on Team USA's figure skating squad. She finished 6th. When Beijing wrapped up, she walked away from everything. She stepped away completely. Years later, she openly admitted she genuinely despised skating. She said she honestly kind of hated it and wanted absolutely nothing to do with it anymore. The grind, the demands, the relentless expectations that come with competing at the elite level. At just 16, she was finished. Let that sink in for a second. She had become a national champion at 13 years old, a record that nobody has touched since. The youngest in history. And by 16, she couldn't stand the sight of a skating rink. She spent 2 full years away from competition, away from brutal training regimens, just living her life on her own schedule without the sport that had been making her miserable. Then she returned, but nothing about it looked the way anyone anticipated. There was no powerful federation coach pulling strings and micromanaging every training session. There was no carefully choreographed Olympic buildup stretching across years of planned events. She did the whole thing on her own conditions. At the 2025 World Championships, she took the title. She became world champion after 2 years of sitting on the sidelines. Nobody had seen that coming. Then at Milano Cortina 2026, on Thursday, February 19th, during the Olympic women's free skate, she delivered a performance that was nearly flawless. She edged out Japan's 3-time world champion Kaori Sakamoto by under 2 points in one of the tightest finals in Olympic history. She claimed the gold medal, becoming the first American woman to win figure skating gold since Sarah Hughes back in 2002, ending a 24-year chapter of waiting for Team USA. But here's what separates this comeback story from every other one we've ever heard. It comes down to her approach, her attitude, and the entire way she thinks about competition and pressure. Olympicscom sat down with her before the games and brought up the pressure of being the reigning world champion, the expectations, the responsibility of carrying Team USA on her shoulders. Her response was simple. She said it's just not that serious. Every other skater at these games was talking about pressure tearing them apart, and her whole outlook is that it simply isn't that deep. She came back to figure skating because she made that choice for herself, not because anyone pushed her, not because of outside expectations. She returned because she genuinely wanted to. And that way of thinking is exactly what carried her to Olympic gold while others were falling apart around her. So how did she actually do it? And what did she share about navigating the pressure of the Olympics? After the short program in Milan, reporters pressed her about the Olympic spotlight, the burden of being world champion, all of it. Her exact words were, "I don't feel the pressure. There is nothing holding me down or holding me back. I invite it all in. So no matter what happens, it is a story." That is nothing like what we've been hearing throughout these games. Compare that to what other athletes have experienced at Milano Cortina. One skier described traumatic memories rushing back the instant he stepped into his starting position, his legs turning to stone, unable to draw a full breath. Mikola Shiffrin admitted she couldn't even picture returning to this level after her crash left her dealing with PTSD. And then there's Alysa Liu, calmly saying she invites it all in. That might be the boldest move against Olympic pressure anyone has ever made. Want to know what she was genuinely most excited about heading into the Olympics? Not the gold medal, not stepping onto the podium. It was her 4 younger siblings getting to experience their very first international trip overseas. When Olympicscom asked her about Milano Cortina in the lead-up to the games, she completely lit up talking about her family. She mentioned they had never been abroad before. She talked about wanting to be there the moment they arrived, wanting to see their faces when they walked into their airbnb, wanting to show them around the city and just be present with them. She was more fired up about giving her siblings a taste of Italy than she was about chasing Olympic gold. And then she turned around and won Olympic gold anyway. That right there is the whole story. When you're not consumed by the pressure, when you're not letting the crushing weight of expectations squeeze the life out of you, when you're simply there to share an experience with the people who matter most, the performance flows naturally. Yahoo Sports called her the happiest Olympian alive, writing that at a games where so many others have crumbled, she just laughed in pressure's face. While fellow athletes were having genuine mental breakdowns, she was cracking up and enjoying herself. Olympicscom described her as bringing a joyful presence to the ice, calling her a free spirit who seemed refreshed, unburdened, and mature beyond her years. Her stress levels stayed manageable throughout the entire Olympic experience, not because winning didn't matter to her, but because she had perspective. It's just not that serious. Figure skating means something to her, but it isn't the totality of who she is. That outlook freed her up to perform at the very highest level of her ability. After claiming the gold, she sat down with NBC and reflected on the performance. She said she was incredibly pleased with how she skated, that the feeling when she finished was unlike anything she could describe. She talked about how hearing the crowd while she was on the ice made her feel this deep connection with everyone watching, and that when it was over, all she wanted was to go back out and do it again. Not I proved everyone wrong. Not I showed them what I'm made of. Just pure, unfiltered joy. A genuine love for performing in front of people. That's what happens when you do the sport completely on your own terms. And what she just announced about tonight's gala makes it crystal clear she's still operating by her own rules. Tonight, February 21st, at the Olympic Gala held at the Milano Ice Skating Arena, she revealed what she'll be skating to. And it is entirely on brand. She'll perform to Starside, a remix featuring Pink Pantheress and Zara Larsson, Gen Z music, a brand new dress. This is not your typical figure skating soundtrack. None of the sweeping classical arrangements everyone expects at an Olympic showcase. She told NBC she has a fresh program ready to go, a new look, and she's heading back out onto the big stage. The Olympic gold medalist is performing to Gen Z pop music, complete with her striped hair and face piercing, doing figure skating exactly the way she wants to do it. Here's what Alysa Liu is showing the world. You don't have to wreck your mental health to win Olympic gold. You don't have to let pressure and expectations swallow you whole. You don't have to follow the punishing, traditional path that has been grinding athletes into the ground for generations. She stepped away at 16 because she despised what the sport had turned into. She came back 2 years later on her own terms. She won a world title and an Olympic gold medal. She did it while being more enthusiastic about her siblings seeing Italy than about the competition itself, all while holding onto the belief that it's just not that serious, and while literally laughing in the face of pressure. In a sport that has been wrestling with a mental health crisis, where athletes are breaking down on the biggest stage, where competitors in their early 20s are having panic attacks at the starting line, Alysa Liu just showed everyone there is a completely different way to do this. She's not just winning for herself. She's rewriting the entire conversation about what it actually takes to reach the top of the Olympic mountain. Pressure doesn't have to be the thing that destroys you. Joy can be your greatest competitive weapon. Perspective can make you tougher, not softer. Doing it your way, without the high-pressure federation structure, without throwing your happiness and mental health into the fire, that approach can absolutely win you Olympic gold. She hated figure skating so deeply she walked away from it entirely. Now she's the Olympic champion. Tonight she's performing to Pink Pantheress at the gala with a smile stretched across her face, living proof that joy wins. While everyone else buckled under the crushing expectations of the Olympic moment, Alysa Liu was simply having the time of her life. And she won Olympic gold doing exactly that. Do you think her approach is pointing toward the future of Olympic sports? Can you reach the top without the pressure destroying you along the way? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And subscribe, because we're covering tonight's gala performance. The happiest Olympian alive is changing figure skating forever.